I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is November 1st, Friday, 2024. Hope you had a good month. So let's jump into it here. So yesterday we were you just watched yesterday's video, obviously, so it makes sense. But we were talking about this hold as support. I still don't think it will, but what do we have here? Well, when we bust down, we have this breakthrough traders here and here. So very common. I talk about this every day on the channel. What do? We push up to a tick. I mean, look at that, to a tick. Look, what's the low of this candle? Look up there, low 287. What's the high? I didn't check it, but high 288. So that means they went up by a point, right? So specific level there. So what are they doing? They're just wiping out all those break traders. Now, imbalance price here, right? And then well, so much to talk about, but you can see that we get stuck by these cluster of gaps, of weekly gaps, right? So let me go into a smaller time frame so you can see this, right? So 15-minute here, all this foolishness here, right? Just trying to shake out everybody in that day, at the end of the day. So what do we do here? Well, in Asia, we come in, we tap this gap here. And if you look real close, there's a gap in that gap. See that shit? You see that? That's not by accident. You see that? So this candle here, we push down, we get to 50%, but we're also tagging that gap that's inside. Let me refresh this again, so you can see that, right? But you have a higher high here and then a higher low, right? You get the higher high here, and then you come back for a higher low, right? And we don't take out that previous low, which is I'm talking about the 315. So this is it's giving you the understanding that it's possibly to push up. Why? Because even if you're bearish, you still have two reasons. You still have two reasons to buy, which is, in general speaking, I'm talking about to come and wipe this out very clean. And that's not a random level. That's specific. There you go. I was hoping for that. And then anyways, so here back to the 1 minute. What do we have here? Well, we also have the opening gap here for today. It's pretty big. So and if you're like, well, we didn't push up. Well, you got to understand, one of those options was to push down. So I'll give this example yesterday. Not my best artwork or anything, but what's it called? It's kind of like when you look on a cereal box and it's like the actual size is not the same as the picture. But here, I'm given the idea of pushing back up in to then come back down and then create like a lower high structure, right? That's the logic that I'm trying to print here. What did we do? Well, we came up to there, right? And now we're coming down and we're here. So I don't know if this is going to pan out. I'm just talking. But of course they want to do it at the end of the day. But so anyways, back to here. Where were your flags of buying? Well, we just talked about it, right? And then where could you see that here? Well, you have the opening day gap. Forget the 830. That shit was weak. This non-farm, I mean, I haven't seen a non-farm. It's been number weak non-farm apparels, if you ask me. It ain't like the 22 like we used to. But anyways, we dipped down here with this 930 candle. Very small opening range gap. You see that? So, and what's 50% of that gap? We're sitting right there at the low. So we're not getting a dump first. What did we get? We got a pump. So if we get the pump, what do we get now? What are we getting now? We're getting a dump, right? Very simple logic. I'm actually still in this trade from here, up here. But I want to see if I can hold it. I made a post in the community tab yesterday. I was talking about possibly reaching into this level here. Well, if you look on the weekly, I'm gonna zoom in real quick, because now on the let me go to a monthly real quick. So the monthly, the previous month we took out that previous month, which is September, right? So October took out November, took out September. So we came down here, and then now this is November, right? So I'm expecting at the minimum to come down and take out the previous month's low, which would be October, which is very close, which is also, you see that built liquidity. We talked about that yesterday. But then when I made the post yesterday on the community tab, which I don't even know if anybody even looks at that, but you should. But you'll see here that we have that weekly, we have the weekly imbalance that we've already got highlighted here, but there is a space in between right there. So, and I drew that out and then I circled it on the community tab or whatever. So what do you got there? You got liquidity here with this low, and then you have that imbalance still. And what's to the left? You also have this down candle on the weekly chart, right? So to me, that's a big draw on price, right? Makes sense. I mean, and then that would also complete maybe a speaker like this, right? So you got the origins here. I don't know if it's here, but let's just say from here, you do this, and then and then it would be something like this, right? So hey, I know, just talking logic here, but it makes sense. So what this is doing is retracing in that previous pocket range, which is from this high to this low. We tapped in. This is a lower high, so that's why this structure here, it looks very suspect. Obviously, it's more prevalent on Dow, but this is the logic. So I plan on trying to hold this to get to this level. I want to see if I can do that. So I'm in the trade now here, but from the sell here. Well, I'll get to that in a second. So here, back to this real quick. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I usually am, but right here, these last 3 down candles. Let me zoom in. So right here. So again, 930 doesn't go below the opening gap. All right, doesn't even take out that low, which is suspect, but it's nice built liquidity for later, right? In this scenario, I don't know if this is going to hold pan out or not, because it's still possible that we push all the way up more back into the range where we have those gaps here. Remember on the daily, see we have a gap right there, and we have a gap right there, and that's generally a nice wormhole, right? So it gets like a vacuum, but we'll see. Well, maybe it's not going to happen. It's okay. But here's the thing. So you get these last 3 down candles. Look at these 3 down candles, and then we push above. So we push above this candle, which is the 929. So right there, it can be a change of state of delivery. And then what do? We push up. So we break these 3 down candles. Keep in mind the midnight level in the background, right? And then we come down and we dip into that 929. Okay, and it's about 50%. Look what 50% is. You can see this, right? 50% of that wick. I'm not wick. Well, the wick here of the 936, 50% of the body. So that's kind of like where you don't want to see price going on any farther. Plus this candle of 928. Look at the low of 928. What's this low? Look up there. Low is 073 and 3/4. What's the low of this? 073 and a half. So that came down by 1 tick, which is that they're doing that for good measure right there, right? If you draw a line right there. Anyways, the point is that this is used as support. What does it do? The body snap back, the body stay right there on the midnight level. See that? You gotta look at these details plus these 3 down candles. So I can actually just do this too, right? You could just kind of like refine it like that, and it'd be like, okay, using that support. Then what do you do? At this point, if you don't know it's bullish, that's fine. It's no big deal. This is not easy price action anyway. Plus, this is like, sitting right there, right? But when you see this midnight level, okay, no problem. And then it pushes up here. Once you get this 939, once you get this push up, now this should tell you like, hey, we're going up for this liquidity here, and then we're coming up to the left of the chart to wipe out some liquidity to the left, which is where automatically you look to. Let's look on the 15-minute here. You'll see that we have that swing high right there. See that right there? This 1030 yesterday, right? Was that 1030? Yeah. Yep, that 1030 high, right? Plus the gaps, right? So if we're at the bottom of this gaps and we're coming through right back up to these gaps. So that's kind of like a minimum target right there, right? And then what do you do? Well, if you look on the 4-hour, you'll see that we also have that low right here. See this low right here? On the 15-minute, I'm going to squinch out so you can see it. Right there. See that low right there? So we busted through yesterday with that. So that's another level, right? Plus, what do you have up here? You have this little imbalance right here, and then that breakthrough level. And what did we do? We hit it to a tick. You hear what I tell you? To the tick. Bam. That is like so gorgeous, bro. I talk about that always on this channel. So anyways, so back to the 1 minute. we push up here, right? So if this is the sign here, so the breakaway imbalance, this 939 doesn't even get touched, right? We're probably rushing for it now to reference back that level. Let me see, are we hitting it yet? Yeah, no, almost. Yeah, not yet. Anyways, but it's a breakaway imbalance. That's just to show you strength. This is how momentum traders get in. All right, and they get in also here. So what do? We push above. We've shifted, right? And then we retrace back into this imbalance right here, this 940. So we leave the 939, stays unfilled. If you're now, if you're bullish, I mean, that's what you want to see anyway. So perfect. Pushes up, retraces back into this last down candle, this 946. Now look to the left here. You see it's all blue candles. So there's no break of structure. You got these last 3 down candles, right? Then it pushes up. Then it retraces back. Well, support is being held with these 3 down candles, right? You're not, there's obviously no break of structure. There's no reason to be getting out, right? So again, with their using the shift here with this swing high and this swing low, projecting up. Where's the 2.5 to 2 to 2.5 and the 3.5 to 4? You project that out. Here's the 3.5 to 4. Take a look here. We do tap right into it, but then we also have that level that we just talked about, which is right there, which is super key. So when they pushed up here, look, so now we're pushing up, right? We're pushing up here. You can see I got all the imbalances marked. That's all support. Now we're getting into the gaps. We get up here. We fall short of it, of both those levels, and it was possible that they dangle that carrot. What do? They push right back down. For what? Just to wipe out all the buyers here. All the breakout traders, they left these guys in here. And this is probably next, obviously. But the point is coming back down. We're coming back to wipe out that basic liquidity. As you can see, right? So sitting there as support. You can even drag this out too. See how we test that right there. And then you can also mark that this 1006 imbalance right there. We dip very short of it. But point is that we're pumping, right? And then they're coming back for a retrace, and then they what do again? They push up one more time here. Now they hit that level, right? So they hit that level, and what do we have here? We have this 1127. Okay, so London and London close and lunchtime pretty much started, and then you have this to turn into an inversion. Because what do? We sweep the liquidity to the left. That's step number 1. Number 2, we are at a key level technically, right? In this situation, step number whatever. Then you get this 1131 bearish candle. It comes down and it closes. I don't know if you can see this, right? You see how it comes down and closes. Well, here, like for example, here, this was a good sell right here. And what did? We did get that. We got a break first through there with this 1033. We come in, but we don't close. It's not that great, right? Then they push up, right? We're literally sitting in that gap, and then they come down. So all these bullish imbalances are failing, right? But here, this candle, this 1127, pushed up as well to take out the liquidity to the left. So this in advance can be something to look at and expect for it to inverse if it's going to flip. So here, then we get 1131, this bearish candle. This closes. Now this is better than this scenario, but this was still a good trade too. It was logical still to come back down. Now, the reason why this is a good sell, because if it's not going to be a bullish classic day, this should have went higher. This should have retraced, and then it should have pushed up for a leg higher and then kind of closed above. But we didn't do that. So it was pertaining to starting to look like a reversal day, but we didn't even get that either. And this is why, we don't recommend trading during this time. But nice pump. So you got the pump. So what do you expect next? A dump? Well, this was a nice trade, and if you took that for a dump, that's perfect, great. But did you need to trade anymore after that? No, absolutely not. But guess what? Pushes up, okay, and then you get this 1132. This pokes right in. See the wick? See, it pokes right in. Look at that 50% level, rejects. As soon as it rejects and it comes down, right at the open of the bullish imbalance, we're looking for it to flip as an inversion. That's when I get entered. I get filled right there. But and what am I doing? I'm obviously holding it for, what do you think? Obviously to come lower, right? Now, if it happens, I don't know, but it's starting to look like it will. But but there you go. See that? So you can see, and then you can see that we're coming down. Now we're just consolidating right here inside this on these gaps here, and then we come up here. A lot of built liquidity here. That's why it's very suspect. Look at this. They didn't take this out. All right, so that's nice built art, but there's a gap. See how the gap? 1, 2, 3 times. Look at that. That's not random. All right, and then so you're like, well, what does structure look like? Well, in this case, we're just kind of looking. It's looking like this, right? So it's like that's your low. You're looking at, like, that's your lower high, and then you're looking to make a lower low, right? And inside all that is, you're getting these little higher highs and higher lows. You get this little raid. Look at the 15-minute. Look at the divergence right there. Look at that. That's beautiful. This is how I also get entered, plus a divergence here. Look at this here. So before we get to the sell, the buy here, you also have a lower low with NAS. You got to pay attention to these details. And then you have higher low with S&P and Dow. So that pushes us up. Now, look at this, beautiful. If you took this buy and you wanted to get out, if you use this as an exit method, wait till you see a divergence. What happened here? You see NAS swept that high, and we had lower highs here with S&P and with S&P. So lower highs with S&P, that's the divergence there. Higher highs also with Dow. And when that's happening, this is tagging that level that we discussed. Plus we have a divergence. I mean, and we just rated. I mean, that's a perfect storm right there. Beautiful sell, but you got to hold it. You got to hold it for all this bullshit. What are they doing? Technically, if we just stick on this time frame real quick, where do you see a crack here? Well, you see this retracement is pretty big, right? So that's kind of showing you that it's possible that it's weak, and that it's possible that it's kind of breaking down, right? But then we get a push up once, and then we fail. Once we fall right here, you could say, oh no, that's an internal break. Yeah, possibly, because you technically don't want to see it come this low. But if it did, that's fine. But they are some down candles, so you preferably don't want to see that, right? So that could be like flag number 1, right? So then we push up here, and then we make these lower highs. We don't break them. Then we push again. So this is flag number 2, right? When you see that, this is internal structure. So now the leg, this is really making a leg down to then break that low. So once you break that low, it's technically a break of structure on this time frame. So, but they're sneakily doing it, if that's even a word. So then you push down here, you get real deep, right? And then you push back up. Once this doesn't break all these highs right here, that right there should tell you that that's a lower high. So that's also a great entry too, but very tough because of the liquidity, right? But hey, then what do? Then you make lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and you start making a leg down here. So now I'm gonna just draw this out real quick. So here's what I'm saying. Let's see if I can do it this way. Let's do it this way. What the hell's happening? Oh, I didn't use the path tool here. So let's do it like this. Let's do it this way. I won't draw all that internal. Well, I guess I could. No, that's too much to do, man. Shit. And then boom. So you can see that's kind of a break right there, right? And then, ooh, another shift. And then we're coming up. And then, I know this looks like stupid, but watch this. Fuck that. So when you take a look at this, here, as the structure pulls up, you get that internal break right there, and then you kind of see the lower highs forming, right? So this pushes down from here to here. Pay attention. From here to here is one leg. And then when we retrace back up here with this, that's one leg. So if I'm going to delete this, let's just pretend it doesn't exist. Well, let's just pretend this doesn't exist. See that? So I'm talking about here, from here to here. See that? See how it's just straight down and then straight up, lower high. All right, and now all this shit in between here, which is explaining from this high to this low. Let me show you. This is now this. You just pretend you don't see it. All right, and then we'll just do it like this. See that? So now this came down for a leg, and then that's the leg, which now I'm talking about that leg right here, this high. And then what do? We push down. We push down again. So from this high to this low is that high to that low. You see that? So all that internal shit means nothing, but you could tell by where the break is. Go ahead, do the work on that. But nice, beautiful lower high, and so on. Took way too much time doing that. The dollar pushing up. That's a good sign for us to be selling off as well. The whole BRICS trying to, use gold. And listen, these people, they got to trick up their sleeves, these Americans, let me tell you that. But anyways, so there's that. And then look at this. So we get the sweep. We already talked about that here. We took the sweep here, and then we push back up just to get into those sellers as taking them out. Now, is this the buy? So because Dow looks like it's ready to fucking buy. I ain't gonna lie. It looks like it's ready to come up and take all that liquidity out, which would also probably get us up too. We'll see. So I'm listen. It's back to neutral, man. It's really back to neutral. So there's no just wait for the elections to be over. Too much sloppiness going on. Let's see here. Well, if I looked at Dow, it's a classic. This is a classic buy day, but this push back down is hard. So that's why I'm surprised it didn't come lower, because that would have been a nice reversal profile for the daily. But this is pretty much see what they do with these last 50 minutes. At the end of the day, it's the week is creating the wick of the week, and it's just like it's settled, man. You know what I mean? So we don't know, but a lot of liquidity on both sides, though, man. So that's why that's why we say that it's it's both sides of the market. Now S&P looks like, they broke clean right through, came right underneath the previous week. This looks bearish to me. I mean, we didn't get that big push that we would expect to if we're having a nice response, like one of these days, like where we didn't see this, we didn't see this. It's just literally, this shit don't look good. We are approaching a support level though, so. And they did not sweep. Look at that. They didn't sweep October's lows. So for me, it makes sense that they're going to come down, and we're going to get like a leg like this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, here's a good example. Can you see this even? See like this, like right here, where we swept and then we push back up. Kind of like this price action right here, where we come down and then we're kind of like, we come back up just to get late sellers, and then we push for another leg down. Like that's kind of like what I'm describing, what I'm thinking. And I don't see it anywhere unless it gets sloppy like this. So I don't know, man, especially with the holidays coming. But that's kind of like what I'm talking about, like this type of price action here, where we come down and we push up, then we stop here, and then we like roll over like this. Like this is like kind of what I'm saying. What's it called? And then Nvidia, with it showing that, when we came down, we're coming back up and we're sitting now at this resistance. Now, is this going to sell from here? That's going to be a big tell. Everything will tell you, all your answers will be sold from here. If we make another leg down, I think we're bearish. 1,000%. And if we go above here, I think we're bullish. So it's just kind of back to neutral, but that did pan out. And is this resistance? We'll see. And then as far as what was I talking about? S&P. Yeah, S&P looks heavy though. And got real close to all those lows. I don't see how they don't sweep that. And what's possible is that you see this daily candle right here closing like this, and it's that high right there. Like, I don't see us coming in there to get that imbalance. I feel like this is like if it's a 1 minute and I just got done telling you about a breakaway imbalance, like when you see it here, when we just, for example, right here, just when you see how we busted through and we don't come back in, that same momentum is the same logic I'm talking about here, where we might not, I don't think we'll even come back in here. I think this is going to be like where you see this, you see this price action here where it slithers down. See how we drop here and then this candle pops up and then it just closes. Yes, it's a bearish candle, but it's the same logic. See how the next candle is a lower high than that on the daily? You can see that, right? See how the next one is also, it's like it's slithering down and has lower highs right here. And we're never breaking the previous day high. So I feel like that's what's going to happen. Possibly as an option that could happen here where we don't take out this high of November. And then we look on the month chart, you know. Oh, this is S&P. Ooh, pretty small, man. Yeah, I mean, taking out the previous month low is like at minimum, man. I don't see how it can't be. And then, man, and then even possibly getting deeper into this area here. Looks like it's wide open. I'm just talking about S&P right now. But no wick on that candle. It's September 9th. I'm talking too much. And then look at that shit. I mean, that looks like a reversal day to me. I mean, that's my opinion, but we'll see. We don't know. Or is it just not a big deal and, this is support and then we end up pushing up? Who knows? I feel like I'm missing something. I'm always missing something. But tread lightly, man, and be smooth, man, and how long is this video? 27 minutes. God damn, dude. So, yeah, we're stuck in between these gaps. So, I mean, I would like to say that, again, if I had the gun in my head, I would like to say we come down here. But we didn't get that big reaction unless they're being incognito and they're going to push up next week. Who knows? Who cares? But, those gaps, this dangling carrot, man, they had to do it, huh? This is what really sucks. See this? See that? Look completely void of price action on a higher time frame. So what I would like for it to happen is just normally buy up here and fucking be bullish, right? I like bearish markets. I work well in them, but I mean it's just easier when you're buying, right? But this is going to be an issue. So we might be headed for some rough times, to be honest with you. But who knows? But again, keeping it simple. Well, it was a push first. Wait for order flow. Just wait for the order flow. If you're like, I don't know where to buy, I don't know where to sell. I'm calling it's a falling knife. I don't know when to stop. Well, you see support using previous week gaps. You can use the present day gaps. We talked about this. Remember, we talked about that imbalance that we had highlighted here, that we had it dragged out here. That was on a 4-hour here. We dragged it all the way out, and I said that watch for that to go up. And sure enough, if I drag it out here, you'll see that we damn near bounced right up it. So we went above it, and then we kind of bounced on the top side of it and pushed up. But if you just wait for order flow, right? Just wait for order flow. You can see the order flow here. You don't have to catch the bottom. You could catch it here, 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 and then, look for a target, and then that's the pump. What do we get at the end? We got the dump. Very simple. So if we got a big dump first, then it's either two things. It's either going to dump, then it's going to pump, or it's going to dump, and you might get a little pump, but if it's a trending day, then it's going to roll like this to the left, right? You guys take care, have a good weekend, and God bless.